Good morning. Today is Wednesday, November the 4th. And if you're watching today, you survived election night 2020. Although, as of right now, we don't know who our president will be for the next 4 years. I guess depending on what color you bleed, you're saying, well, it's my candidate. Or if it's the other one, you're saying, well, it's my candidate. But regardless of who our president's going to be, we know who our king still is. And so hope you're ready to joyride through the book of Philippians with me this morning. Today we're going to look at probably my favorite passage in Philippians. My favorite two verses might be two of my favorite verses in the entire Bible. I've taught on these two verses many times. I have actually talked about these two verses with football teams, when I've gone and talked to teams, with kids. There's just a lot of meat in these two verses. And if we would live these two verses out in our lives every single day, I guarantee you our lives would be different. Frederica Green, in her book, The Illuminated Heart, asks these questions. Why are we modern Christians so undistinguishable from the world? Why is the dysfunctional nature of Christians about the same as the world? Why were Christians that lived in times of persecution so heroic, and today we're so passive and pudgy? That's a good one. Why don't we stand out in virtue and joy? Does anyone say about us, I know they are followers of Jesus by the way they love one another? How did the earlier saints pray constantly, but our minds doodle over trivial matters? How could those people, those old Christians, fast valiantly, but we complain if we don't get a cookie at the end of the in-meal flight? How could the martyrs forgive their torturers, but my friend's success makes me pouty? What did the early generation of Christians know that we don't? Perhaps the answer is found in two verses, Philippians 4, verse 8 and 9. Are you ready? Are you ready? If you've heard me speak many times, you've heard me talk about these two verses. This is what Paul says. Finally, he's bringing the letter to a conclusion. We're almost done with these chapters of Philippians. Finally, my brothers and sisters, my friends, the Philippians, I love you. I love you. You are my joy. If you remember, you're my gold medal. You're my crown. I think about you. I pray for you. I just adore you, Philippians. Finally, my brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put it into practice. And here's the promise that comes with these. If you will do these two things, the God of peace will be with you. Now I've narrowed that down to two words, right? Think, do. Think about the right things, whatever is admirable, whatever is beautiful, whatever is praiseworthy. Think about these things. And then Paul says, whatever you've seen in me, do them. And so I've said, if we'll think about these things and then do them, here's the promise. The God of peace will be with you. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about prayer, and we said the peace of God will be with you. But when you think and act, the God of peace will be with you. On Sunday mornings at Community of Hope, we're in a series in the book of James, right? And it's called Faith Works. And James says over and over, if you want a faith that works, here's what you have to do. You have to work your faith. You want the God of peace to be with you? Do you? I do. So many times I'm like, God, where have you? Perhaps if I thought about these things and then did them, the God of peace would show up right by my side. You know, we human beings, we fall into a trap. And this trap is that rather than thinking about the right things and then doing them, we follow our feelings, which often are misleading, if not always. Just read something on Facebook from a friend, Jenny. You always get a shout out, Jenny Radigan. I hope you're watching today. About, wanting to open her mouth and trash the other side of this election, and then the Holy Spirit, right? We got to think about the right things and then do the right things rather than follow our feelings, which will always lead us down, the swirling toilet bowl. I mean, We humans, we feel and we do, we feel, we do, and then we wonder how we got here because we followed our feelings. Rather than working our way into a great feeling, we try to feel our way into a great action, and it just doesn't happen that way. And I love the old quote, and I can't use the language in the quote, but if you're eating a manure sandwich, you ever think, man, life is just a bowl of crap. Chances are you ordered it. Yeah, because you followed your feelings rather than your mind. Paul over and over has asked these Philippians one thing: to have the same mindset as Christ, the phronesis as Christ. Think like Christ. Think about what's beautiful and admirable and praiseworthy, and then do these things. Have the same mind as Christ, who, by the way, came out of heaven and put on flesh and blood and died for you. Have that same mindset and then do these things, and the God of peace will be with you. Love it. Pretty easy, right? Pretty simple. Think, do. Think, do. Think about. And there's my dog right on cue. What is praiseworthy, admirable, honest, and then do these things, and the God of peace will be with you. I hope the God of peace shows up in your life this week. In the midst of a lot of things going on, right? We've made it to November 4th, finally. I'm trusting Christmas is right around the corner. I'm trusting that the peace of God comes to you through your prayer, and the God of peace shows up in what you think about and what you do. Love you all. Got a couple of weeks left as we joyride through the Philippians. I'm looking forward to finishing this up and jumping on into something new in 2021. Have a great Wednesday. Have a great rest of your week, and hope to see you in person real soon. If not, see you online. Love you all.